Hello, my name is Dawn. I'm with Chicken Run Creations, and we are here today to do another Easter egg with a gnome on it, because the sheep we did the other day and the gnome were really close. So I said I would jump in today and do the gnome. A couple things before we get started. This is a live video. And if you are watching it from your phone and you're having a hard time seeing this, I think there's a way that you can make your comments disappear so you can watch this. I haven't figured out a good way to set up the camera so it's like overhead. However, I have a camera coming in tomorrow that I'm going to kind of experiment with and see if I can figure out a better way of doing this. If there was a way that I could do two cameras at once and switch back and forth, that would make life a whole lot easier, right? Anyway, if you don't like this kind of style, I have a YouTube channel and it's all overhead so you can see all the details. So I'll try and like pick it up and show you what I'm doing as we go along here. So anyway, so we're going to get started. The consensus was that we needed to do a purple gnome. So I already took my egg and I just did the same thing that I did for the sheep. I put some grass and sky on here. I just figured it was just going to be easier if I had it already done. If you didn't see how that was done, you can go back to the live that I did on Monday and showed how to do that. So I just kind of took care of that here. So I have two colors here. They're really pretty. Can you see those? I have a lighter pinky purple and then a darker purple. And my daughter said that this should be the hat and this should be the body. So that's what we're going to go with. Hopefully, Sarah, that's okay with you. So I'm going to start with the hat, actually. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of find a spot here on my egg that I want to do. Now you could like take a marker and draw out what you want to do for your hat. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. So I know I want to kind of have my hat kind of go like that, if you can see that. So I'm just going to just kind of freehand like the tip of the hat and just kind of tack down how I want his hat to go here. Now there's probably more here than what I need, so I'm just gonna kind of freehand it here. And then I can either pull this off or I can take it and I can bring it up like this. And just get some kind of hat going here. And I'm using my 40 spiral needle because at this stage you don't really need any other ones. You could go to a 42 triangle if you wanted to, but the 40 spiral is just kind of my favorite. Hi, Chris. I see you had your phone set so you could get here on time. So I'm just going to kind of work this around. This shouldn't take too long. And I can add more here if I need to. This is actually covering pretty well. I love these colors. I actually have a dragon started. I don't know if it's in this color or if it's might even be in this color actually, but I was getting frustrated with the wings, so I put it aside temporarily. I should get it out and finish it though, before I end up using up all my color. I'll bring his hat to a little point here. You could make the hat any shape you wanted. I just kind of like to do a little, kind of like a Santa type hat. Hi, Jan. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so I am stabbing very lightly here. I'm probably only going in like 1/4 of an inch because my egg is fairly firm already. So, and I'll just kind of touch up the blue here a little bit. All right, so there we have a hat. Didn't take too long. All right, now we're going to take some of this darker purple and we're just going to kind of give them a rounded body here. And I'm just going to do like just a basic outline to start with. And I'm going to kind of bring it just in. I know you guys probably can't see this, but I'm going to kind of give them a little rounded body here. So I'm going to kind of bring it out just a little bit here. And I want it to go under my hat. I know this isn't really a good medium for teaching. I kind of prefer YouTube for that because I can have my camera right above my hands and you can see it a lot better. So this isn't the best medium for teaching, but I know people like to watch it, so I'm going to do the same on this side. Just kind of bring it out a little bit. Okay, might be a little too much over here. The nice thing at this stage is I can still kind of manipulate it, so if I find that it's over too far, I can just bring it in a little bit. So I don't have it in really firm yet. All right, we'll kind of bring this around. Now, if I mentioned it on the last video that I didn't really understand the fascination with gnomes. They weren't like really high on my list of things that I liked, but the very first class that I taught at our local library was for a gnome. Hi, Nancy. And I kind of liked them after that. I've seen some really interesting ones. And they're fun to make if you even just, now this is decorating an egg, but you can totally just make a gnome, which is what I did with my library class. So all I'm doing is just working on his body here for just joining me. And I think my shape is pretty good. Depends on how pudgy you want your little gnome to be, I guess. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of fill in a little bit more here. Hopefully you're able to kind of see this. The gnome goes pretty fast. So I'm just going to firm this down now. You almost won't even see this once you get his beard on. You almost don't even see his outfit here. Now you could really embellish this if you wanted to. Oh, hi Debbie. You could really embellish this if you wanted to, you know, give them hands and feet and whatever else, but we're just going to go really simple here. But I might add something at the end. We'll see if I can do it. Alright, it's a little more rounded on the one side than it is on the other, so I'm just going to take a little bit of wool here, see if I can't round this side out just a little bit. Okay. Just firm it up. All right. You see that? All right. Next thing we're going to do, my craft show is here in my local town, which is, if you go back, I think if you go back on my page a little bit, you should see a link to it. It's in Lacona, New York. So I don't know where you are, Nancy, but we're upstate New York, way upstate, almost northern New York. All right, so I have some white here. This is a merino, I think it's called Snow White. It's really soft, and it's a roving, so the fibers, it's not been carded, so it's not like really straight, but it's not too bad. So all I'm doing is I'm just kind of straightening it out a little bit, if you can see that. And this is actually a little bit too long. Let me see if I can shorten it a little bit. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this down right across between my hat and my body here. I'll give this a trim before we're done here. But so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of see where my line is from where between my hat and my body. Just kind of guessing as to where it is here. And I'm going to tap it down right along pretty much the middle of my beard. Oh, Vermont. Yeah, well, if you want to take the drive, Nancy, come on over. I've been to Vermont. Hi, Kay. Thank you. Okay, so you see what I did there? And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this top part down and just see where my hat is, and then I'm going to felt it in right along the base of the hat. Now you could add a mustache. One of my students always adds a mustache to her gnomes, which is fun. And I'm just gonna kind of pull it over a little bit here just so you can see his body. But you can kind of make his beard as wide as you want it to be. All right, so there's his beard. So now what I'm going to do is kind of poofy here. So I'm just going to take my needle and just kind of hit it here and there just to tame it down a little bit. And then I'm going to take some scissors, and I'm not really good at hair cutting. Debbie, maybe you can give me some pointers. So let's see, I'm just gonna kind of give it a little bit of a trim here, just a rough cut to start. Get some of the extra off. And then just kind of give it a little bit of a trim here. And you can cut it any way that you really want. And I'm just gonna, I like it a little poofy, but I don't want it to be really poofy. So I'm just gonna very gently tack it down enough to kind of hold it, but not make it really firm. And I'll just kind of do the top there a little bit more. I should have my hairdresser give me some hair cutting lessons. So, okay, you see that? So he's got a beard. All right, now we're gonna make his nose. So I have this kind of peachy merino roving here, and that's probably too much. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just kind of roll it into a ball in my fingers here. And I want to see how big this is. I think that'll be good. Maybe add a little bit more. So I'm just going to take my needle and just very carefully, because this is small and I don't want to stab my fingers, and I don't feel like grabbing my finger guards at the moment here. So all I'm doing is I'm just stabbing it and I'm turning it. I want to keep moving it around because I want it to be round, obviously. And I'm just doing this enough to get it to hold together. Because then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it in my hands and I'm going to kind of roll it like you're rolling a ball. Nope, I just lost it. Like you're rolling a ball of clay. So I'm just going to kind of roll it in my hands here to make a little ball. And the nice thing about wool is the friction by running it in your hands together will actually kind of felt it down for you. So it's not going to be totally firm, but it's enough that it'll hold its shape. So I'm going to stick it on his nose here, and I kind of like it to go above the hat a little bit. And then I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to tack it in all the way around the base because I don't want it to go flat. So I'm just going all the way around, taking it from the nose into the body and just tacking it down, keeping that round shape. I can do a little bit on the top here. But you want it to be secure, but you don't want it to go flat. And you could use any color for the nose. I happen to have a lot of this peach color, so I tend to grab it. Kind of blends in with the white a little bit. I probably could have picked a darker color, but okay, so you can make your nose any size you want. But there's our little gnome. I always seem to use a single needle. You guys do have the 2 and 3 needle connected. I do, Jeanette. I do have a 2 needle holder and a 3 needle. Well, technically it's a 3 needle holder, but I usually only use it with 2. And for bigger projects, I will use it, but for something like this, I don't know, I just prefer to kind of use the single needle. But I do use it from time to time. If you go back and watch my YouTube channels, you'll see where I use it. I also have a 5 needle. This is a 5 needle one that I'll use a lot on my flat pieces. If I angle my needle, it always breaks. So Nancy, when you're angling your needle, if you're going in at an angle, you want to make sure that you go straight in and straight out. If you go in and you bend it at all, that's where you're going to break it. So I'm just going straight in and straight out, and I'm not going in really very far. It's only maybe a 1/4 of an inch that I'm going in. So just always remember straight in, straight out. If you move it, you either, if you're going in and then you turn it like this, you're going to end up breaking it. So you want to make sure that you always go straight in and pull it straight back out again. I've broken my share of needles. Okay, so he's got his nose. Now, I debated about the other one that I made. I put a little mushroom on the side of him, but someone had suggested a little chickie. So we're going to try and make a little chickie to put on side of him. So I have some yellow here. And I'm just going to go really simple. So I'm just going to go on the side here and I'm going to make a kind of an oval shape with my yellow. This is kind of, you're going to see my spur of the moment kind of thing. I haven't practiced this out, so we'll see how it comes out. I made chickie eggs, if you saw that. Sure, Nancy, let me know how that works out for you. I don't have them here. They're at the shop in town. But you can probably go back through my Facebook posts and see where I made an egg, a chickie egg. So I'm kind of going with that basic style, except he won't be half in an egg. So I'm just going for an oval shape here. If it doesn't work out, I'll just pull it off. Done that before. How hard can it be to make a simple little chick, right? So I'm gonna make his bottom a little bit wider than the top. My daughter just got turkeys in yesterday, day before yesterday, something like that. It's her first time doing turkeys. We've always done chickens. So she says they're way different from baby chicks. So you see him going at an angle here to kind of define the outer edges. Just barely go in. Okay, can you see that? All right, now I have a slightly darker yellow here. I probably should have gone with more of an orange. I don't know if this is gonna, yeah, hold on a second. Let me grab an orange. Maybe. Just so it shows up better. All right, got a little orange. So what I'm gonna do is just a really tiny orange. I'm just gonna roll it in my fingers here to make a beak. You can see that. And it's probably even too much. You cut this just a little bit. I only need a little tiny bit. So I'm going to put his beak in first. And it's pretty big, but we're going to push it down in there to make it smaller. And all I'm doing is just kind of shaping it with my needle. Well, you guys can see this is kind of small. Alright, and then I have some black. So we're going to make two teeny tiny eyes. So I'm just taking a little bit of black and I'm rolling it in my fingers like I did for the flowers when we did the flowers on the one the other day. Just rolling it in my fingers, making sure they're about the same size. So we'll give him some eyes, and these are pretty big, so I'm really gonna kind of stab them down pretty good. And I'm just going on either side of the little beak we got here. Don't want them too big. You see that? And let's see here. Let's give him, I should give him a little bit of a mouth. I don't know if I can, small as it is, I don't know if I can get him much of a mouth here, but let's try it and see. I might not do the mouth. Yeah, we're not going to do the mouth. Pull that out. What I should do is make the bottom half white so it looks like he's still partly in the shell. Let's give him a couple feet here. Just going to do a couple of stick legs. So I'm just going to take a tiny bit of orange off here. And just stick it in there. Or we could just skip that and it can be laying. Pamela, what is my favorite needle? It really depends on what I'm doing. So for this work, I like the 40 spiral. If I'm just starting out with something new, I will use either a 36 triangle or a 38 triangle. But it really depends on, it all depends on the feel of the wool. So, you know, if I find that the needle's just really having a hard time going into the wool, I'll switch to a smaller needle. But I almost always use a 36, 38, and a 40. That's like almost all that I ever use. I have a 42 triangle, but unless I'm doing like really fine work, like I could use it for this, but unless I'm doing really fine work, I don't use it too often. And I almost always use the 40 spiral when I get to doing work like this. I just like how it goes in here. So I'm just going to kind of put a little bit more yellow where I had started a mouth that I didn't like. So I don't know how much of a chickie it looks like, but his eyes might be a little too big still. Could just make it some eggs around him, I guess. All right, there we go. A little chickie. So I did do a mushroom on my other one. I think I kind of like the mushroom a little bit better. I guess I could give him some wings here, I suppose. Make it look a little bit more like a bird than a blob. See if we can make a little wing here. Maybe that'll work. He's flapping his wings. Thanks, Kay. Thanks, Nancy. There we go. The wings help, I think. His beak's a little big, but there, we gave him some wings. You see that? So there we go. There's our gnome. You could, you know, add stuff to the hat. Thank you, Barb. You know, if you wanted to be, I think the one that I did before I put some polka dots on, I kind of made it look kind of like a mushroom because it was red. But you could add, you know, whatever kind of decorations you could, you know, continue around it. We're just going to keep it really simple here. So anyway, there you go. There's the gnome. For all of you who wanted the gnome and didn't get it on Monday, we got the gnome. I don't know. Thanks, Kay. I don't know when I'll do another tutorial. Oh, thank you, Nancy. If you caught my live this morning on my other page, I have a craft show next week, so I'm trying to get ready for that. So I'm not sure if I will be able to get on and do another tutorial, but if you guys would like to see something that's kind of short done, or even I could like break it out like I did the egg, break it out over a couple of days. If you'd like to see something, pop it in the comments and I'll see if I can work something out for that. And I have lots of tutorials over on YouTube, Chicken Run Creations. You can just do a search there and it should come up over there on YouTube. And like I said, my tutorials over there are hands, the camera's above so you can see a lot better. You don't see my face. Showing my face is new. I'm a behind the camera kind of person. I don't like to show my face. So anyway, so you can hop on over to YouTube and I have a lot of tutorials over there, and I need to get some more up. I've just been really busy. So if you have any suggestions and want to see something, pop them in the comments and I'll see what I can do. I know people were interested in my hummingbird that I posted the other day. So maybe I can do a tutorial on that sometime in the near future once I get my show out of the way. So anyway, thanks for joining me, guys, and I enjoyed chatting with you, and I guess I will see you on Facebook whenever, and we'll get another live in here sometime soon. So thanks for stopping and joining me, and I wish that you will have yourself a rest of your good day. So thanks for joining me.